Leah Porter, a 19-year-old, mysteriously disappeared on June 3, 2014, in Westminster, Colorado. To this day, her remains have yet to be discovered. She was raised in a nurturing and joyful household. Leah shared an incredibly close bond with her family, particularly with her older brother, Max. As they grew up, everyone saw they were best friends and hardly ever apart. They played with the same group of friends and went to Cotopaxi High School together, making their bond even stronger. Leah was an average student who liked hanging out with her friends and listening to electronic music. She loved taking pictures and videos of everything she did on her phone, just like a typical teen. When Max went to college, Leah wanted to go too. So after she finished high school, she decided to go to the same college and study massage therapy, just like Max. When Leah started college, things were going well. She enjoyed her classes and was excited about her future job. She often spent time with her brother and his friends instead of her classmates. So, when Max graduated from college, it hit Leah hard. Max got a job after finishing college, so Leah had to travel a long way to see him. This started to affect her mood, and everyone around her noticed. The once cheerful and lively girl was now quiet and seemed unhappy. Leah's emotional state continued to decline, further worsened by a chaotic relationship coming to an end. She had a 6-month relationship with Jesse Mine, a 38-year-old tattoo artist. Jesse introduced Leah to heroin, leading her down a dangerous path. After Max moved to California, Leah decided to leave college and move in with Jesse. Mallory Nixon, a close friend of Leah's, recounted the moment she found out about Les's heroin use. While driving to a concert in Denver, Leah admitted to Mallory that she was addicted to heroin. Shocked and concerned, Mallory immediately offered her support, expressing her worries to Leah and doing everything she could to help her friend overcome the addiction. Together, they attended a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, hoping it would aid Les in breaking free from the drugs hold. Post-breakup, Leah decided to relocate to Denver and had reached out on her Facebook page, asking her friends for assistance with the move. During this period, she also opened up to her brother, Max, about her struggle with heroin addiction. Max was deeply troubled and surprised by her revelation, as it was not in line with the sister he knew so well. He cautioned her about the risks associated with heroin use, yet he was careful not to say anything that might drive her away or stop her from sharing her problems with him. The day before June 3, 2014, Mallory spent time with Leah and noticed that she was unwell, having not used heroin for 3 days. Leah was fighting hard to quit her heroin addiction. Unfortunately, this meeting between Mallory and Leah would be the last time anyone saw Leah. Max, Leah's brother, realized immediately that something was strange. Leah was usually quick to respond to texts, but she suddenly stopped all communication on June 3rd. After 2 days of trying to reach her without any response, Max and their mother, Renee Jackson, felt they had to report Leah as missing to the police. The police quickly brought Jesse Mine in for an interrogation. Mine shared that he and Leah had gone through a bad breakup, leading him to move out of their apartment. He mentioned that Leah had expressed her plans to relocate to Denver. Mine recounted that the last time he saw Leah was in a motel parking lot near Denver, where they said bye to each other. He was on his way to Maryland, to his parents' house, with intentions to overcome his drug addiction. Leah, on the other hand, had plans to stay with friends in Denver. Mine noted that Leah ceased communication shortly after their breakup. He initially wasn't concerned, assuming she was settling in well with her friends in Denver and had moved on from their relationship. However, his lack of worry turned to concern when Max inquired about Leah's location.
Maybe she's just mad at me. And then the following day, when Max called me and said, "Yo, dude, where's my sister?" That's when I was like, something bad is happening.
Given Mine's statement and solid alibi, the police removed him from their list of potential suspects. In the meantime, Renee, Les's mother, examined her daughter's social media activity and phone records. During her investigation, she repeatedly came across a specific name and phone number, which belonged to Christopher Wade. Then 23-year-old Christopher Wade, a former member of the Army now pursuing a degree in criminal justice, had attended high school with Leah. However, she and Max were puzzled by the so-called connection between Wade and Leah. Wade had frequently interacted with Les's social media posts, leaving numerous likes and comments that suggested there might be some kind of relationship between them. Curious about why an old acquaintance of Leah's had suddenly reappeared in her life, Renee contacted Wade. She asked Wade what the new connection between him and her daughter was based upon. Wade explained that he was her accountability partner, a sponsor for recovering from addiction. Renee was shocked. This was the first time she had heard anything about her daughter's addiction. According to Wade, he had first connected with Leah after seeing her social media post asking for help, finding a place to stay in Denver. He lived in Westminster at the time and had offered to lend her a hand. They'd met, but she left the same day she arrived. According to Wade, Leah had received a message late that night and sometime later was picked up by someone in a white pickup truck. During his interrogation with the police, Wade repeated the same story he had given to Renee, but he included additional details. He mentioned they had stopped at Boston Market for dinner before returning to his apartment to chat and play video games. Following Lisa's disappearance, Wade actively participated in the search efforts, using social media to appeal for assistance locating her, while her family distributed missing person flyers throughout Colorado. Wade's actions suggested that he was deeply concerned about Les's disappearance. Wade remained cooperative with the investigation. During their interrogation with Wade, the police sensed something wasn't quite right. They had an intuition that he was holding back information. Upon digging deeper into his background, they discovered that he had been removed from the army due to aggressive behavior. With his consent, they searched his two-bedroom apartment in Westminster, Colorado, which they found to be in a state of disarray, cluttered with video games, soda bottles, leftover food, clothes, and dishes strewn across the floor. Wade's bedroom was in the worst condition, with trash, clothes, coupons, computers, and a dirty mattress, with what seemed to be a large bloodstain. A duffel bag filled with women's size 14 underwear was found on the floor. Upon discovering this, Wade hastily claimed that he purchased the underwear himself, preferring them over men's underwear. The police also found spots of blood that had been cleaned with bleach and a knife near the mattress. They confiscated Wade's computer, which revealed searches of adult sites. Wade was then detained for further questioning. Confronted about the knife, Wade explained that he got cut on his hand a week and a half prior and had used bleach to clean the knife. The officers were skeptical of this explanation. Pressed for more details about the findings in his apartment and their possible link to Leah, Wade began to recount his old story. But later he claimed that Leah had made a romantic advance towards him while they were playing video games at his place, leading to a kiss and having intimate moments with her. However, he then reverted to his initial story, insisting that Leah had left after receiving a text message and was last seen getting into a truck, which was the last time he saw her. The police wanted Wade to reveal more about his involvement, so they initiated round-the-clock surveillance. Meanwhile, as the police searched Wade's apartment, her brother Max returned home to start his investigation into the matter. Max's inquiries among former schoolmates uncovered that Wade had maintained a journal filled with dark fantasies. Upon discovering this, Max decided to meet Wade. Aware of Wade's fascination with tarot cards, Max proposed a meeting under the guidance of seeking a tarot reading to help find his sister. It was a strategic move. A confrontation would likely cause Wade to become defensive. Instead, Max aimed to gain Wade's trust by befriending him, bringing along a companion for support. When Max and Wade met at the park, Max sensed Wade was pleased by the attention and the budding friendship. As they engaged in the tarot reading, Max carefully directed the conversation towards his sister, initially facing denials. Persistently, Max reassured Wade, suggesting he could forgive him for any involvement in Leah's disappearance if he only disclosed the truth.
Look, okay. You need to tell us right now, dude. I need my sister back, dude. I'm gonna kill myself without my sister.
Despite Wade's initial resistance, Max's steady pressure continued, emphasizing understanding and seeking honesty. Gradually, Wade began to open up. He recounted their visit to the Boston Market and returning to his apartment, where they played video games and had intimate moments. Max and the police were already aware of these details, but they suspected there was more to the story that Wade was yet to reveal. Wade withheld a crucial piece of the story until he was at his residence with Leah. There, he claimed, Les desperately pleaded for money, which he assumed was for drugs. When he refused, Wade said that Leah, driven by withdrawal desperation, scared him with a knife. This led to a physical fight between them. Wade insisted that his intention wasn't to harm Leah, but to disarm her for his safety. He described how he guided her, positioning her body between himself and the knife, and then placed his hand on her throat. He claimed he only began to apply pressure when she persisted in her attack. Wade believed that by rendering her unconscious, he could then safely remove the knife and allow her to regain consciousness. However, things didn't go as he planned, and she didn't regain consciousness. After Wade finished his statement, Max, overwhelmed by emotions, lunged across the park table and struck Wade in the face.
I'll let you walk away and drive away. You killed my sister.
Max's friend, who had accompanied him for backup, jumped in, pulling Max away. Max then revealed to Wade that he had recorded their entire conversation and would take the evidence to the police. Confronted with the recorded confession, the Wade decided to surrender and confess his crime. However, Leah's brother wasn't willing to take any risks. He dialed 911 and detained Wade until authorities arrived. Upon their arrival, Wade was taken into custody and faced charges including first-degree murder, assault, evidence tampering, and possession of adult sites discovered on his computer. To reduce the severity of the charges against him, Wade consented to plead guilty to second-degree murder, provided he would lead the police to Leah's remains. The police accepted the deal. After repeating his confession on tape to the authorities, Wade disclosed the method he used to dispose of Leah's body, stating he placed her in trash bags, then into a duffel bag, and finally discarded it in a dumpster. Wade confessed that his knowledge from criminal justice courses had informed him how to clean up a crime scene. He also admitted that his confession was prompted by the tarot card reading, claiming that the cards had instructed him to confess, a realization he claimed to have had during the card reading in the park. For 40 days in a row, officials searched through a landfill without success in locating Leah Porter's remains. However, they did uncover a pillowcase that held her cell phone, wallet, identification, and clothing. Despite this discovery, Wade insists that his account of events is accurate. Skeptical of Wade's claim of self-defense yet cautious about proceeding to trial without a body, the prosecutors proposed a plea bargain. They offered to reduce the charge to second-degree murder if Wade would provide detailed information regarding the circumstances of Leah Porter's disappearance. Christopher Wade, during his court appearance, along with a handful of his supporters present in the courtroom. About 5 or 6 individuals were there for him. Then the 23-year-old stood out, clad in a gray prison jumpsuit, his height and slim build noticeable as he remained shackled at the waist. Throughout the proceedings, he did not seem to acknowledge his supporters. Leah's family and the authorities suspect that Wade has not been truthful about the location of her remains, providing misleading information instead. The police have a theory that Wade murdered Leah after she rejected his advances, leaving the family without the closure they desperately seek. In 2015, Christopher Wade received a 48-year sentence at Sterling Correctional Facility. A significant factor in Wade's conviction was the determined investigative efforts of Leah's brother, Max. The Porter family continues to hold out hope that they will one day recover Leah's remains. The police are still in search of Leah's body, and the case is still open.